for Super M. Malcolm Rapson lining up alongside Trevor the Killer Westman. Dave Boulding on the front row with him, and off they go down towards turn one. It's a fantastic start from Boulding. Boulding gets off the line, Rapson goes up the inside, but look at Bo Levy onto the grass and into turn one. The KTM absolutely flying, but it's Westman who gets the drop on everybody. It looked like Boulding had got a better start, but heading down into turn one, Westman came from the middle of the row and headed into turn one first. And he is still in first place with Rapson behind him. Boulding in third. Onto the tail comes Gillison. Gillison sneaking through. Bo Levy's got ahead of Janine Davies. So Janine Davies losing out 2 positions. 1 to Gillison as he sneaks through there on the portable shade Kawasaki. And a nice start there from him. Remember, the championship battle is between 46 and 79 on track. That is Gillison and Janine Davies. The rest of the riders out there. Bo Levy, another man who's been around for all season long in this championship. The 3 riders joining them at the front end are, of course, wildcard riders for this event, and they are not going to be in contention for overall victory in the championship unless they decide after this round, which I'm hoping they're going to do, to come and join us for the rest of the rounds as we head all around the country, back to Buffalo City Super GP in a few weeks' time in East London, and of course Nelson Mandela Bay, KwaZulu-Natal, the Gauteng Super GP, and our epitome of this entire championship, World Superbikes and Super GP at Pakisa at the end of the season.
Certainly a great start to this race here in the Mother City. Just a reminder to you folks, if some of your friends have not managed to make it here to Killarney, they can follow us online, www.supergp.co.za, and they can follow the race via live streaming and be able to see the action live as we see the guys going into the second lap.
There's no doubt about that, but it's fantastic to see that, and of course also looking to see whether or not we're going to be getting the action. And if you aren't here at the circuit and you've got friends at home that still want to get all the action, make sure you tell them all about the live streaming that's going out. Live streaming on supergp.co.za. Click on the link, up it goes, and what we're seeing on the television right now, what we're commentating on, is going worldwide.
Fantastic stuff, Greg. As I said, we're going all international. We'll be rounding up the championship with the World Superbikes in the Free State later on in the season. But for now, we're here in Cape Town and giving you some action from the SuperM race.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. Down the back straight, looks like there's a problem there for the 46 bike of Gillison. He didn't get quite the drive he wanted. Boulding is staying ahead of him. So it looks like the old man of the mountains is keeping Justin Gillison out for now, but he is certainly not too far off the back of where he'd like to be. I really want to see how much he can push. He is really pushing it to the limit, and right now it looks like it's going to be a battle at the front between Rapson and Killer, and then it's Boulding and Gillison. And just off the back, you can see Janine Mitchell now starting to come into the clutches of the 53 bike, and I can tell you something, that 5'3", Jean-Lucas de Vos, has got some serious pace around the circuit.
But Greg, the question is, does she have enough laps to obviously catch up, considering that the gap has kind of slightly grown up a little bit at this moment in time, has opened up. We're not sure exactly where we are as our timing is coming into play.
Janine Davies sitting at about 2 seconds off the back end of Bo Levy, so with some work to do, no doubt about it. But remember, as I said, it is a consolidation round for her, so she wants to try and score as many points as possible. She was quite fired up about the fact there were 3 Cape Town riders ahead of her and wanted to try and run with them. It doesn't look like she's gone exactly off the mark like she expected. But a nice battle here for third place. Look at this. Boulding being closed down by the portable shade Kawasaki, and Gillison is all over the back of Dave Boulding. But look in the front end. 2 riders heading down towards Cape Town corner.
Already.
Check it out into Cape Town corner. Heads up for an overtaking maneuver on the leaders, because they are extremely close as 3rd, 4th come into our sights.
Greg, quite onto it. I mean, in terms of the braking right at the bottom of the hairpin there, it is quite fast and furious. You can actually see the bike slightly snaking a little.
Yeah, it's lovely. Check this out. Here comes Rapson. Rapson for the lead. Rapson into the front. Gets through. The Kawasaki's found a way past the R1. And that Yamaha is now having to look for other options. It's Rapson and the Killer Westman. Trevor the Killer Westman having a super run here. He's on the Ocean Sizzler bike, of course. It's race-based motorcycles at the front end.
And going in. Here's he gone in.
Oh, what a move there from Westman.
Awesome.
Into turn 2.
Awesome
into corner, and that's how you do it. So the 2 Cape Townians showing us exactly what's going to happen a little bit later on. We're expecting more of the same when we get to Super 600s. I think there may be about 4 or 5 more.
Oh, look at a rider.
Rider down.
Oh,
that's a big crash, unfortunately. Just trying to pick up who that rider is. Looking at the way he's fallen to the sideline there. Good possibility. It's I think it might be one of the Gauteng riders who's come down here. It is. It's Yanni Udendal.
Oh no.
Yanni Udendal, who's unfortunately crashed out. He's fallen on the side. The bike continued and actually just parked itself neatly in the wall. But Udendal is down.
Well, at the moment,
look at
at that. Flat taps.
Rapson is in the house. Red flag out. Kind of expected that. The rider is injured and in quite a dangerous position there, Googs. It's at the end of the main straight on the braking point. And if anybody else goes wrong there, of course, we have got marshals on the circuit. So it is a red flag situation, which means we are going to come to line up again. We have completed 3 of the possible 12 laps.
That's correct.
And now we wait to see and hear what the call is going to be as to who is going to restart this race. Red flag comes out, which means the riders will come up and take their positions on the grid as per the race start.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, here's a replay. Look at that. Oh, Undal just being outgunned there by the 6.5 machine. And unfortunately, just had nowhere to go. Carl Schultz, what were you thinking, buddy? Oh, and he got stuck on the back of the bike as well. Look, his leg was actually caught in the back of Schultz's bike and goes tumbling into the sideline.
No.
ZX10 parked to the left-hand side. Schultzy, what were you thinking, bud?
As we currently look at our screens, the riders are all under starters orders, and we should be getting the racing underway shortly. As we see clock of the course, and everybody just getting ready, making sure, and we will doing 9 laps of the race, and we'll just go straight into
well, if they're not going to go and give him a warm-up, this will be pretty interesting with cold tires. Googs, I'm a bit concerned about that, to be very honest with you, dude.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're going to have like 1 warm-up lap, but no, it looks like we're going straight to racing. Straight into racing on cold tires. Wow, this should be pretty interesting into turn 1. Hopefully everybody realizes that they're still on cold tires. It's only a couple of minutes that we've been waiting on the line, but I can tell you something. The temperature dropped on some tires that have been at full pace is definitely going to be felt by riders. It is Trevor Westman who got away. Rapson is second. Bo Levy is third. Into 4th place goes Dave Boulding. Looks like John Lucas de Vos has also snuck through there. Around the outside comes Gillison. He didn't get a good drop off the line at all. Neither did Janine Davies. She is tucked in behind him, looking for a way through. So as they come down into Discover Digital and the Rose Foundation Suite, and head up the little short straight away into what is going to be Monster Malmesbury Corner today. So into Monster Malmesbury Corner to Bo Levy, absolutely hauling. And as they come out of Monster Malmesbury now onto the back straight, it looks like that KTM is under some massive pressure. Boulding looking for a way through.
He is. He's going through on the inside.
Side by side with Bo Levy. He's got a little bit of extra straight line speed and top end on the Kawasaki as opposed to what that RCA. Oh, no, down.
No.
69. That's the other KTM.
Greg, you called it.
Oh, man.
Cold tires.
Otto. I did mention the fact cold tires were going to be a factor, and it's a concern that I did raise.
Yeah,
they normally give them one warm-up lap just to get some heat.
Yeah, it should have been the case, I think. It should have been.
I don't know what the reason for that was, but anyway, it's not our call, Gooks. That's how they're going to do it.
Yeah, it's a bit of an oversight on that one.
In full flight into turn 1. Pirelli Corner, Holes Hook, as it's known here in the Western Cape. And as they head up to turn 2, NGN Corner, it is 1 and 2 getting away from 3rd place Dave Boulding, who is now opening up a small margin on John Lucas de Vos. But it's Bo Levy and Justin Gillison, who is right behind him looking for a way through.
Well, it seems like the senior citizens are the ones who just got away out of that. Obviously, experience also counts in a big way. But that incident looks a little bit precocious. I wonder if the teams will actually, or should I say the officials will be able to just carry and look after the rider. It seems as if this rider has gotten up, or is he he's still laying down at the ground at the moment. So
I'm telling you now, that's a cold.
Yep, there it goes.
The second red flag. Second red flag. I kind of thought that might happen. He is in a pretty precarious position, so we don't want to make. We just want to make sure that all the riders are safe. The first 2 riders haven't seen the red flag yet, though. They haven't seen the red flag. That's for sure. I don't know if the riders have actually put their hands up in sympathy, because we are allowed to do that, but it's usually the lead rider that has that option. And I don't think Trevor Westman realizes that they're going to stop this.
Well, let's look whether the officials, it still seems as if it's still good to go.
Yeah, you can see the
ER24 looks a bit serious.
The reason they're going to call red flag is because that car's on track, right?
Exactly.
And it's in a dangerous position. We could possibly bring in a safety car situation as well. There is an option to take safety car, but I think because of what the rider and because of the injury, they're going to just literally call the red flag and have to restart.
Well, we'll just have to see what the officials decide to do. At this moment in time, there's still some bikes on the track as see the officials are still.
I'm telling you right now, they have not seen the red flag. Gooks, those front 3 riders have not seen the red flag. There's double yellows there, and if they have decided to call it and the other riders have sat up for whatever reason, that's their own call.
That's true. No, I think it might be going through to the red flag. Let's just wait and see what the officials are.
That
bike looks finished.
Slightly second hand.
Not even second hand. I think third or fourth hand.
I can get you a really good deal on RC8, but right now, a really, really good deal.
Not today. I don't know if I'd take that one.
Johan Otto, of course, he's out of the RSA racing stable. So, Yami Pino, I'm not quite sure what you're going to do there, but some miracles are going to have to be pulled if you're going to try and find some replacement parts there.
No,
Of course, remember, Bo Levy is here. He has got a spare bike, and well, maybe we can have a chat to him and see if Jan's okay. That's if Jan is okay, of course.
Hopefully,
and we
he
wish
is.
Both him and Jannie a very speedy recovery. You know, this is not the way we'd like to start a race day. That's for sure.
It seems like we're about to get going, Greg. We see the green light going on, so I wonder whether it's going to go straight. I think it's going to go straight into a race again, Greg.
I think we're going straight to racing. Yeah,
and there we go.
Not quite sure how many laps yet. We're going to get that in our ears any second now, so hopefully we'll be able to work that up. Still a 9-lapper, so still 9 laps. Wow, I don't know if these guys are going to have enough fuel, dude. To be very honest with you, if you've already done 4 laps of racing, which they had, they completed 1 lap after the restart. They completed 3 laps after the first start. That means we've had 4 laps of racing so far. They have fueled their bikes to within a couple of litres to ensure that they've got enough to finish the race and enough to make the technical requirement afterwards.
Correct.
I think they have to have 2 litres of fuel in the tank at the end of the race. So hopefully they have fueled enough here.
Well, it's all about managing the process, Greg, at this moment in time. As we see, Westman has already jumped into the lead. It seems like it's a spot that he's quite used to.
Yeah, he certainly is quick around the circuit. We've seen him at national championship levels for a long time, Luke, in the previous championships before SuperGP started. And every time he came down here, the wild card aspect is always thrown his way. And, of course, into Malcolm Rapson's way as well. Yeah. Those 3 riders certainly know how to do this. But check this out. Janine is absolutely hauling there, but it is a 600cc rider that I haven't mentioned yet, and I wanted to, Kevin Redmond, who is now up in amongst those guys and giving a huge fight out. Look at that. That little R6 is absolutely hauling through there. He's ahead of Gillison. Gillison not getting a good start. John Lucas the Foss got an amazing start. And 1, 2, and 3 head down towards turn 1. Bolding all over the back of Rapson. The 2 very good friends there on the back end of the Ocean Sizzler R1 Yamaha. And, well, Westman, you've got some work to do, buddy.
A lot of work, it seems. But as you see the guys going through, Westman seems to be very comfortable in the front, actually. I mean, the other guys, it seems like they're losing a bit of gap already. As we see the boys coming through.
And the girl.
To the back street. And the girl,
yeah, the lady rider is there as well. Janine, having to go the wide way around Justin Gillison. He is a big lad, so it is a wide way around normally for anybody to get around him. But this time out, it looks like Redmond. What a start from this youngster. Kevin Redmond having an absolutely amazing run here in the 3rd restart of race 1.
And it's only race 1. There's lots of action. It seems as if today it's going to be full of action throughout the series. As you know, we've got the Super 600s coming up as well as the Premier Class, the Super GPs. As we see the boys and girl riding in the back straight. Janine making a bit of a move there.
Yeah, Janine on the inside looking for a way through on the brakes. Or over the bumper. That's going to just unsettle the bike ever so slightly. I was actually speaking to Lance Isaacs about it yesterday.
Yeah.
He said that bump unsettles a lot of motorcycles, so it's actually better to stay on the inside line for the braking marker for Cape Town corner. But
look
then,
at that.
when you've got power like that BMW has, wow! Janine, what are you thinking?
Talk
Going up on the
that,
inside, nearly clipping the back wheel, and goes through. Oh, no, not quite.
Well, she's just giving him a chance right now. Just giving all the children a chance, of course. Otherwise, she'd make the young man look.
Emil Vandermerva just behind them, looking in probably the best seat in the house, going, wow, if this is how you guys are going to play, I don't want to be part of this. I've already seen 2 of my friends go down today. Now we just want to get these guys and girl to the end.
Let's just finish. I think that's the main idea at this moment in time, considering the way things started. It's not so good, as we see an overtaking maneuver coming through from Rapson.
Yeah, Rapson into the front. Trevor Westman now in the 2nd place. So the killer has got some work to do. They go through Monster Mom's re-corner now. It's a big double right-hander. If you set things up right here, you get great drive for the back straight. And of course, this is where you can get that R1 and ZX10 to close to the 285 kilometer an hour mark.
285 k's. That's super flying, Greg. I mean, geez, I don't know when last I did 285 k's. Never.
No, but I've seen you drive some of those funny cars that you get given to drive every now and again. I don't think you've done 285 on a motorcycle, though.
No, I'm for it. That's something else, you know.
I did it once.
Wheels, eh?
I can tell you I've done it once. I did it on a shoot with 2 Wheels TV and Dave Peterson, where we went and did the tracking station road.
Yeah.
And the Suzuki GSXR at that stage had a limiter put on it. And they said, you know what, we'd like to see if this thing can actually reach 300. So myself, Vaughan Swanepoel and Dave went and did a run. And up the inside goes Westman. I don't have to worry about me because it's all about Westman.
He comes back on the inside. He goes
wide.
But
he runs wide. Rapson just says, yeah, if you're going to run wide there, but I'm going to eat you for breakfast. And that's exactly what he's done. Rapson's actually got a little bit of an advantage now because of the fact that Westman ran wide there. But Trevor comes straight back at him. There's no doubt about it.
No, certainly, Greg. These guys are really, for me, as I said, guys on 2 wheels is more like stuntmen. Because I believe you need a roll cage, safety belts, the works, and 4 wheels. Because 2 wheels,
Dude, 4 wheels only moves the body, eh? 2 wheels moves the soul. That's what it's all about.
It moves the soul. It moves the soul.
Some serious soul moving going on here. Soul provider, I would have to, soul provider coming out of Bo Levy right now. But look at Janine Davies.
She's on the hammer.
Gillison and Davies. That's the championship fight, Goods. That is the fight for the championship
and
honours.
She's saying cheers. Thank you very much. Under braking.
And Gillison is very good on the brakes. He certainly is. But you know what? You know what's happening right there? Janine is just showing him like a little wheel here, wheel there. So like, I'm right here, man. I'm right here. That's what it's all about.
I'm coming in. But it's good to see these two have been battling from the beginning of the season, and they're bringing it down here to Cape Town, the mother city, to showcase what it's all about in the SuperM Class. And we've seen Janine has been on the podium as well early on.
There she was, first race of the season, in fact, Googs, first lady ever on a 1000cc race in South Africa to make a podium. So she certainly knows exactly how to do it. In the background, the kids are loving life, I can tell you. Hard on the brakes into NGN corner. They've just come out, and it looks like Janine just lost a little bit of ground there, but certainly not too far off. She can get the momentum back on the main straight. Watch that BMW's drive down the back. It certainly has a little bit of extra grunt on that Kawasaki. But the Kawa, of course, leads out right now and has to find a way past that RC8 KTM.
Look at her lining up. All right, going back to the front. It seems like Mr. Westman is still in the lead once again. He's gone through past Rapson. I think these guys are actually dueling, just giving each other a bit of space here and there and saying, my man, come through, you can take this lap. And hey, it's my turn now, let me go through. Needless to say, I think they're still out there giving us some plenty action right now on the track as they go and complete lap number 5.
I'm hoping that they're putting on a show like they are, because I can tell you something, they are certainly putting on a great show. And whether or not this is planned or choreographed, which I highly doubt with these two riders particularly, because they are good mates off the circuit, but they are extremely competitive riders when they come onto the black stuff or the kind of grey stuff here in Cape Town.
A bit of grey.
But it certainly is the the bit of grey is probably in Rapson's trailer, not in Trevor Westman's trailer. He is certainly the elderly statesman of these two at the front.
Now, certainly, and I think, Greg, hometown advantage really does go in a long way, considering the kind of gap that they've built up already from everybody else, and still being able to duel amongst each other as they go into Malmesbury together. Ooh, this is close.
What did you have for breakfast, bud? Did you put some Monster on your cornflakes? Because, man alive, that was an amazing bit of maneuvering there. There's not a lot of riders that can pull off a move into Monster Malmesbury, and Rapson just showed us how to do it, bud.
That's why I say these guys are stuntmen. I don't think I'll actually have the big kahunas to be able to do that kind of move, especially without a roll cage on my side.
Yeah, there's definitely some part of his anatomy that is extremely bigger than most.
Monsters!
They're monster ones. Monster ones. You came through there. Right, so we're going to complete another lap. That is going to be 6 laps done. We've got 3 to go if our timing system is right. And, of course, our information is correct. We said it was still going to be a 9-lapper. Check this out,
at the back.
Hello.
It's like, hello.
Gillison has got through on Levy. Levy now under pressure from Janine as she comes across the line. They're all trying to close down on Jean-Lucas de Vos. But it's a 4-way battle. And that 4-way battle right now is for what is 4th place on track. So it's incredible racing at the moment.
Certainly hot, Greg, and it seems like Janine is like, hey guys, come on, move it. I got some Vuma that I need to get through here and make sure in terms of the championship points I'm up there, and she cannot allow Gilson to get away.
Gilson's got to stay within her sights. Remember, he's come into this round, he's sitting only a couple of points behind her. Gilson's sitting on the 39, Janine Davies on 43, so it's 4 points in the championship. If they stay as they are right now, he's probably going to equal the points. He will close down the championship and be on equal points going into race 2 later this afternoon.
Well, looking at Janine, she's lining up Bo Levy as they head into Malmesbury, and I'm sure at this point in time she's going to get good drive all the way down the straight and be able to say thank you very much. It's like taking a sweet from a baby. There we go. She's giving it hounds all the way through.
I think you go and explain that to Bo, okay? Because I ain't going to say that to him. Bo Levy, though, on the KTM, trying to hang on and keep Janine out, but hasn't been able to do it. Cape Town corner, we have an opportunity for an overtaking, and let me tell you something, you don't ask Janine twice for that. She will definitely take you up on the offer.
No,
looking at the lines they're going through there as well, chatting to Lance Isaac yesterday, it's vital to try and get that inside line to get drive, and that's exactly what Janine has done and what Justin has done. So Gillison is certainly closing in on Jean-Lucas de Vos. We're going to have a 2-way battle here. Gillison still could make the podium.
No, certainly, you're right, Greg. And at this moment in time, as we're heading down towards, I think it's under 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go. It's still hot action on the track. Wonder what's happening in the front at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome stuff. It's between Rapson and Killer Westman. And I can tell you, I think Rapson has now decided to drop the hammer and get away. So keep an eye And let's see what's going to happen here for what is third place. Right now, Jean-Lucas de Vos. And, of course, don't forget we've got Dave Balding just up the road too. So
yes,
this is actually the battle for fourth place. Are we going to see any problems late in this race? I don't think so. Everybody seems to have calmed down. And when I say they've calmed down, other than Janine.
Look at Janine. Look at her lining it up
fired
again.
up for the second half of this race. Incoming out of Monster Momsbury. She's
All
got phenomenal drive on the BMW.
Can she be late on the brakes?
No, she braked very early there. Justin Gillison just able to outbrake into Cape Town corner. Of course, Vox Telecom, the sponsor on that corner this weekend as they come through. What an amazing bit of riding there. Coming out.
Oh, bit of a spill in front.
Starting to squitter around there a little bit. Pirelli Rubber is crying no more, but I can tell you it's not over yet. We have one lap to go. They start their final lap.
There's a problem.
Janine Mitchell sitting up there ever so.
She missed a gear.
I think she did. Probably went in and just clipped the wrong gear. Maybe got a false neutral as well. It happens on a bike every now and again.
False neutral.
You literally go for the gear, and as soon as it goes, it just doesn't select, and you've got to click it down again, and then it sticks in. So probably a false neutral heading into what is turn one now out of NGen. Look at this.
She's covered up a little bit, and hopefully she'll be able to line it up.
This to perfection. Watch out, because I think there's a possibility that Jean-Lucas de Vos is going to feel the pressure from Gillison.
Yes.
And the two of them aren't going to realise that Janine is right there.
Exactly.
She's going to pounce, dude. She's going to pounce.
Let's hope so. As she lines up, Bo, heading up into Malmesbury.
Into Malmesbury now. Monster Malmesbury corner. Out of Monster Malmesbury, it's going to be a drag race to the bottom end of the back straight.
And then she's got a good drive on that side.
From Janine. Gillison comes across. Loses the slipstream. Uses the slipstream. Tuck in behind him. Checkered flag coming out for Rapson. He wins out ahead of Killer Westman. They close right onto the back there of the 41. Of course, Marius Kukamura only Honda rider.
Stop.
Oh, and Rapson coming into the bottom. I think he's going to come and do a little bit of a burnout for the crowd. I hope he is. Maybe he hasn't done that. Here they come, though, to the line.
Final.
Jean-Lucas de Vos for fourth place is going to hang on. Gillison is going to keep Janine Davies at bay. How exciting is that? Man alive. Awesome stuff as they came across the line. Now they come down onto the braking markers, and that is race one done, Googs. I'm going to head across to the podium. I'm going to leave you here, but a quick wrap up. Rapson taking it from Westman. Balding takes it ahead of Jean-Lucas de Vos and Justin Gillison. An amazing effort there from him, and we're looking forward to more of the same a bit later on.
All lining up on the start line for starters' orders. It's about to go shortly as we wait for number 3 man.
Yeah, that'll be Dave Balding.
That's
number 18.
He's just clogging the system up, it seems.
Yeah, there he comes.
There, finally.
Odendahl hasn't made it up. You can see the 6th position on the grid has not been taken up. So green flag at the back, which means we're good to go for racing. Hopefully these guys and girl are going to keep it all clean for us in race 2. But it's Super M down towards turn 1, and Rapson is off the line and out of here. He's certainly got a fantastic start, but Trevor Westman goes with him and actually outguns him. But it's the 600 of Redmond. Remember that little 600 will be lightning quick off the line, and was very, very impressive off the line. He goes into turn number 1, Holes Hook, and Pirelli corner, as we like to call it today. He's in second, with Rapson closing down on him on the brakes and moving into third place. Kevin Redmond down to third on the 600, but certainly loving life here in the Super M's.
Now lots of action, plenty here, but it's still early days as these guys have got about 10 laps to go to race. So normally we'll see everyone get into a pattern of note and then be able to carve their way all the way to the front.
Just give you an indication, Gooks. I eventually got confirmation. We've got 13 lap Super M, 13 lap 1600, Super 600s, and a 15 lap. 16 lap, beg your pardon, Super GP. So that is how things have changed up. It's always good to give the commentators that little bit of vital information.
That little info, that's very critical.
Right, down the back straightaway for the first time. Gillison under pressure from Dave Balding. He's going to try and outgun Balding. On the outside, it's Redmond. On the inside, it's Levy. Here comes that 5-3 bike sneaking through there of Jean-Lucas de Vos. And behind him comes Janine. Janine Davies looking for a way through. Remember, she waited till a little bit later in the race before she started to attack. And it actually worked out to be a very good advantage for her to come into this. But here they go, down towards turn number 1 again. 1 and 2 getting away from everybody else. Third place battle is where it's at right now, with Balding holding on to third. Only just, Greg, as you mentioned, as they come out of the Vox Telecom corner, making their way all the way through towards the engine section. It is still pretty much hot action in the front end. And a change.
The boys, a bit of a change lead.
A change for third place then.
Mr. Balding taking proceedings over there.
Yeah, Balding just sneaking through there. Gillison just didn't have an answer. He comes trying to come back at him straight away on the portable shade Kawasaki. It's the KTM right on their tail of Bo Levy. 53 is feeling the pressure. Jean-Lucas de Vos, do not look behind you. That is Janine Davies, one of the fastest ladies in the country. She's all over your tail.
She's coming through. She's been getting a really good drive through Malmesbury and all the way down the straight. It's just under braking at the bottom end that seems as if she has a bit of a hustle on. But it's good to see her pretty much keeping the boys very honest.
Definitely. Now comes up onto the slipstream, looking for a way to overtake under braking. She's not quite close enough just yet. But look at how Jean-Lucas closes up on Levy. Bo Levy is certainly feeling a bit of pressure coming from behind, and it's not just a matter of time before we see a move there.
It's about win.
From De Vos.
It's all about win, Greg, as we see the boys heading out towards the start finish line. It seems like Olding is just still pretty much in an open free. He's flying at this moment in time.
Balding's trying to get away. He's trying to close down on Rapson and Westman that have got away at the front. And remember, 1 and 2 are still wide and disappeared at the front. In fact, you don't even see them in the shot.
No,
that's how far ahead they've got. On the last run, they were almost a second quicker than anybody else out there. And in fact, it was 5 seconds down to Balding for third place.
5 seconds already into the lead, Greg. That's quite a lot. That's a big gap, actually. And I wonder as to whether the guys will be able to make up that kind of time up if they don't hold each other up, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing to take into account, of course, is the fact that they are getting away nicely and don't think they'll be caught. So 1 and 2 definitely fighting on their own. But third place now pulling a small gap. Gillinson, Bo Levy, De Vos, and of course Janine Davies. Now the only concern in that little pack right now is De Vos, because remember, Bo Levy, Gillinson, and Janine Davies have done all 3 rounds. The other riders have not done all 3 of the rounds. So the championship's still pretty much wide open here for these riders.
No, certainly wide open, and as you said, Greg, earlier on in the first race, they need to really take up the points that are up here. It's pretty much a freebie. However, if you don't obviously score as high as you possibly can, then you don't come to the party. You might regret this outing that we had down here.
Well, Carl Robinson, I think, is going to be feeling that, as is Teddy Brooks. And, of course, not really worried about Ryan Ottens because he's no longer involved in this championship. But Colin Lehman will certainly be concerned about the fact that he was only 3 points ahead of Janine Davies. Now, Janine Davies finishing up what was in 6th place on race number 1. That's certainly going to assist her possibly to take over from Lehman. And, of course, Justin Gillison finished in 4th, so he certainly will also close in on Janine Davies. He was only 4 points behind her.
It seems as if Bolivia has dropped down in the KTM as well slightly, but that has given the opportunity for Janine to make up for lost time and see as to whether she can climb up the order in that battle for the last podium position as the guys head onto the Malmesbury. And here we switch over to the leaders, way ahead. Seems like Westman is leading Rapson into the hairpin, the final hairpin, as they head out to the start-finish line. It's a big gap that they've got. They can pretty much, walk this race and still be able to be in front at this moment in time. It seems like the gap has grown no longer 5 seconds, but rather it's all the way down to about 8 seconds or so.
I have to agree with you there. It's going to be a tight battle between these 4. De Vos got through, and now he's got ahead. He's trying to pull a bit of a margin over the Gauteng-based riders. It's all Cape Town at the front, with De Vos now moving into that 4th slot. But it's a battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place, because they are closing on Balding. Balding hasn't quite got away like I thought he might, but certainly is going to be still in contention here.
It's not that he's not trying, but certainly. But here we go, side by side. The KTM takes it in, taking over Gilson, just overtaking him on the inside, but Gilson will want to basically stay with him and get enough of a good drive. But Janine also gets a good drive on the outside, manages to go past Gilson. Fantastic maneuver from her.
Well, that's going to change things up, Cooks. Just to bring into account, I'm just going to do a bit of maths here while we've been chatting about the race unfolding. Heading into this race and round 2, or race 2 of round number 3 here, the Western Cape. Heading into this particular race, it is 53 points to Janine Davies and 52 points to Justin Gillison.
Still close,
I said they were going to be tied,
but
I was out by 1 point, and that was just doing the mental maths in my head. Now I've done it on paper. It's only 1 point between Gillison and Janine Davies. And Janine Davies, sitting where she is right now, is doing exactly what she needs to do. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but I can tell you it's not over yet in terms of the championship that is being fought out here between those 2 riders. Because remember, they are, as we mentioned earlier, the 2 riders that have been through all 3 rounds.
Correct, but I think today it's all about Cape Town. It's a Cape Town show as we see the Cape Townians leading proceedings. We've got Westman as well as Rapson leading proceedings at this moment in time, with Westman leading the 2. It seems like it's an easy one for them. They'll be probably swapping positions shortly just to keep themselves awake and
the other nice thing about
not to run away.
The other nice thing we've done about the points here, Gooks, is the fact that both Janine and Justin have now overtaken 3rd place Ryan Ottens and 4th place Colin Lehman.
Oh,
so those two
okay.
riders not being here this weekend, they've now unfortunately lost ground here. And by the end of the race day, there's a good possibility that both Justin and Janine will also be getting past Teddy Brooke in second place in the championship. I don't think they're going to be able to catch the 90 points that, of course, our championship leader, Carl Robinson, has been able to tally up till now. But they're going to be extremely close by the end of this one.
No, that's fantastic. But then I guess we'll have to see what happens in the next round as we head on down to East London, rather, Buffalo City. That's for round 4 on the 16th, or should I say the 15th of June, the next month.
So remember, it's a long weekend.
It's a long weekend.
16th of June is a public holiday, so come and join us down there.
Well, definitely. So if you've got some time, just get into the car and drive on down to East London.
Make your way down to Slummies. Of course,
Slummies,
Wesley Skinner and his entire crew from the Border Motorsport Club, Andrew Koshagan and Wesley Skinner, are itching to have us down there as Super GP, and they are definitely going to put on a show of note. Gillinson, though, look in the background. Googs, I'm worried about that.
He's losing time.
He's falling by the wayside here dramatically.
So.
I'm not quite sure if he's cooked his tyres. Maybe he's gone a little bit too hard in the first race. Maybe they didn't change tyres. There's such a amount of strategy and tactics that can be brought into this, but he certainly is not on the same kind of pace as what he saw earlier on. Bo Levy, though, is still in contention. And remember, he's another one of the riders that is Gauteng based that has done all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
He is currently sitting in 9th place in the championship. He's moved up to what would be 34 points, which would then put him into 7th place ahead of Conrad Viljoen.
Yes.
But with those 2 riders not being here, he may even move higher up and get up into probably about 5th place if he stays where he is right now. But Janine is not going to let that happen.
No.
Because Davies is on his tail.
She's pushing very hard. It seems as if under braking down in the hairpin, she's not really strong for some reason. It seems as if everyone else actually makes up ground on her. But then she does pretty much follow the boys all the way around and almost takes them into Malmesbury as they exit out because she got good run out of that.
Did you see the pit wall there, dude? The big guy in the purple shirt, that's the Hulk.
That's the Hulk himself.
That's Dan Davies. That's her husband. He is a massive man, and he is definitely giving some massive support to his wife out on circuit right now, pushing hard to find a way past the KTM of Bo Levy. Bo Levy looking on the inside. Not quite able to put his wheel up the inside of young Lucas de Vos, but de Vos, I think, is certainly feeling the pressure from both that KTM and BMW behind him.
But look at that drive that Janine is getting out there as well. It seems as if, having a bit of issues here. But it seems as if Janine is having things under control as she's lining them up. She'll probably make a maneuver again as they go through Malmesbury onto the main straight, as she guns her little bike all the way through. Having a look, there she is. Goes on the inside, shakes a little bit, but manages to hold it together.
Gets good drive, though. Gets good drive. Watch into the slipstream there of the KTM. Could possibly pull out. She pulled out a little bit early for my liking, but it might work for her. She's going to go around the outside. It's a smoother line to take around the outside. And now cuts back inside, trying to find a way through. But I think Levy saw her coming.
Not quite.
Just made that RCA ever that much wider. And just forced the young lady to have to find another way past. We are about to complete our 8 laps down. We've got 5 to go, Googs, as they cross the line.
5 laps to go, folks. It's action aplenty still. The boys in the front are far away already, and it seems as if the battle is really just for 4th position, as well as possible 3rd, the last podium position that is currently being led by David Balding at this moment in time. But it's still early days as we see number 99 himself, and that is Bo Levy holding up the likes of Janine, as well as...
Yeah, well, Janine's fighting it out there with Jean-Lucas de Vos. De Vos is hanging on to the front end, and Bo Levy is doing a great job to bring himself back into contention for the overall championship. But it's Levy that holds the inside line through Discover Digital, and on his tail is a young lady that is extremely hungry for victory and extremely hungry for podiums. Something goes wrong with those first 2 riders. Remember, we've still got Westman, Rapson, and Balding at the front end, but it's Jean-Lucas de Vos that is basically hanging on right now and keeping everybody else at bay.
Certainly, Greg, she is certainly pushing and holding up back everyone else to say, hey, I got this, as we see Janine trying to go through onto the inside towards the hairpin. But again, under braking, it seems all the boys seem to have an upper hand on her.
They certainly do, but let's wait and see what's going to happen now as we get into the closing stages. Remember, this race is not done just yet. There's still a long way to go. We are sitting with 4 laps to go as they cross the line, and going to make that an interesting bit of racing here between the KTM, the Kawasaki, and the BMW. On the inside, though, Janine has eventually gone on the inside. Oh,
she takes it.
Janine Mitchell, Davies, that is. Jeez, I've got to keep getting out of that one.
Careful,
Dan's going to kick my butt. Yes, indeed.
Will be looking after
Janine
you.
Davies moves up and gets ahead of Bo Levy, but Bo comes back at her, looking for a way on the inside and makes it 6. So he just hung on to that outside line, even though he lost it in turn 1. He came back in turn 2 and resumes that position for 5th place.
Which is a great pity because she really did have some good drive, and she has been really just pushing on the back of Levy over there, but I guess she'll also have to try that again, try that maneuver, and make sure that this time around when she executes it, it does stay the same. Needless to say, as they get onto the back straight, Janine has good line. Oh, we switch to the front.
Right, so front end of this race is all about Westman and Rapson. Westman leads out. The Killer is looking to spoil the day for his good friend Malcolm Rapson. He doesn't want to give him 2 podiums and 2 top of the podiums for this race. There's no doubt about that. I think the Killer has decided it's Ocean Sizzler that needs to be at the top end of the race by the end of race 2 of Super M.
Oh, the senior citizens rather of Cape Town are the ones leading proceedings today in the SuperM Class, as we see Westman leading Rapson. And the boys really have it easy this time around, it seems. I don't think they're being hindered by anybody else. So the battle is just further on down the grid, 4th, 3rd, as well as 4th and 5th. And we should be switching back to them shortly.
Dude, if we look at the things and the way things are standing right now, if Janine Davies stays in 6th place, that means she's going to be scoring 10 points for the second race, which will now move her into a 2nd place in the championship overall. That is super stuff. Overtaking Teddy Brooke by 3 points. If she stays where she is, that's what I'm saying. And Bo Levy, of course, if he stays where he is right now, and that is what is currently 5th place on track, that'll give him 11 points to add to the 34 he's got, which moves him up into 45 points. And that is now moving into possibly a 4th place behind Justin Gillinson. So let's see what's going to happen. A few laps still to go. We're on to the penultimate one now, and starting to come in amongst some of the back markers. The 144 bike out there, certainly looking pretty tasty, is Russ Page. Haven't seen a lot of him all day, but he is also, he's a big sit up there from Russ Page. I don't think he saw them coming, to be honest.
No.
I'm not sure.
Not sure as to whether we can see, as we see Rapson also overtaking the back marker, making his way through and following through with Westman as they're heading out towards Malmesbury and onto the back straight.
Well, before that little frog took over my throat, I was going to say, we didn't see back markers in the first race due to the fact that it was 3 restarts.
Correct.
So that's the first time we're actually seeing a back marker come into play. Now, these 3 are looking to take advantage, I'm sure, of that back marker and the fact that they'll probably catch Russ Page in this last lap and a half.
Now let's just see as to whether that could be happening, Greg. As you mentioned, sometimes when you're going through a back marker, you do get a little bit distracted and your pace gets a little bit hindered slightly. And this gives the opportunity for those behind to catch up and see as to whether they can, pretty much spoil your day.
It's going to be timing now, because I think that's the most important factor, is that Janine needs to just time this right. If she goes too early, we might see Bo come back at her. If she goes too late, then we're going to see a possibility of Jean-Lucas de Vos hanging on to that position right now.
Correct.
Yeah, they come down the back straight now. Check this out. Flat out stuff from all 3 riders. The ZX-10 is hanging on for now, but that KTM RC8 and the BMW S1000RR is all over the back of De Vos. And he's going to be wily here. He's going to have to use all his experience of Killarney to try and keep the 2 Gauteng base riders out of contention as they start their final lap.
As you mentioned, Greg, they just certainly have to. This is a do or die moment for them, really. They really need to make sure that they do kind of time it correctly, and especially for Janine. But we'll just have to see as to what happens and as to whether she'll be able to execute
Leaders
that.
down the back straight, Googs coming in amongst some more of the back markers there. They've caught up onto not only the number 144 of Russ Page, but now in amongst some more back markers, and it doesn't look like it's going to affect him at all. No, you can see on Kevin Redmond now going around the outside. Westman is going to hang tight. There's Carl Schultz, the man who was involved with Yanni Odendahl earlier on in race 1's crash. Checkered flag standing by. Flag comes out, and the Killer Westman takes a victory in Super M. So it's shared honours there between Westman and Rapson in terms of the top of the podium. Westman will be happy about the fact that he's beaten Rapson this time out. Rapson will probably be just saying, you know what, we had such fun here today. It was so great to be part of SuperGP Champions Trophy. 3rd place once again to Dave Boulding. He hung on to that 3rd place. He was currently basically all on his own. But going back to the race for 4th place, here they come onto the braking markers.
Here's the battle. Coming through, Janine just dropped back slightly, but it seems like the 2 in front will be coming through as we see the KTM making its way in. Oh, and we cut off into the pits.
Wow, coming to the checkered flag now, coming to the checkered flag. What's going to happen? It's going to be very, very close between these 3 riders. Here they come. Bo Levy hangs on. Oh, does he? No, he doesn't. Jean-Lucas de Vos just hangs on to beat out Bo Levy. And as they cross the line there, it is Janine Davies. Now, that is vital in terms of this championship, Gooks. Just to wrap things up before I head across to the podium, Janine Davies finishing down in 6th place gives her another 10 points onto the 53 she's now scored. It gives her 63 points. She is now second in
in the
Super M
championship.
in the championship.